Hi, this is Mark Buchanan. It's Sunday afternoon and I've just done a viewing on a property. It went really well, so hopefully it'll be followed up by an offer. And I just wanted to share some tips on how to conduct a viewing. So tip one is about presentation. So it goes without saying that the property wants to be in the best possible condition, nice and clean and tidy, to give the best first impression. Tip two is have the lights on, especially this time of year where we're in October now, so some days they are quite dark and dull, and people want to feel that the property is nice and warm and inviting. So by having the lights on, it gives a real impression of brightness, light, and can create that better feeling of space as well. Dogs. A lot of people don't like dogs. Strange, I know. So if there is a dog around on a viewing, that can make somebody feel a bit uncomfortable and their thoughts are on the dog rather than the property. So it's always best to get a dog out of the property. So if you've got a partner, that can maybe take the dog around the block, or if there's somebody that can just look after the dog for maybe 20 minutes or so while the viewing's on, that'd be great. Even people that do like dogs, like myself included, dogs can be a distraction because you spend more time focusing on fussing over the dog than actually focusing on the property. So either side of that, dog lovers or haters, it's best not to have the dog on the property. And that can also be the same for children, because children can become, they can be a bit of a distraction, especially if they're like really excited to see that there's people in the house, things like that. So again, it's often a better idea to not have children in the property when you're doing the viewing. Then how to conduct the viewing. So the way I do it is I'll show people around the property. I'll pick out some of the key features that I love while we're going around, and then once we've had the grand tour, they can have a little wander around on their own, so they get time to kind of chat. If there's more than one of them, can get a better feel for the property without kind of me looking over the shoulder. Some of the things to avoid is what I've found when people do their own viewings, especially when I visit people that have had the property on with other agents for quite a while, and especially when they're getting loads of viewings but no sales, it's often down to what's said at the viewing. So people have the reasons for wanting to leave, whether they just want a bigger house, a smaller house, a different area, whatever reason. That's obviously personal to the seller, but what you want to do is focus on the positives rather than the negatives. So don't point out that basically that bedroom isn't big enough, you can barely fit a bed in it, so you need a bigger property. Also don't focus on the jobs that you were going to get around to doing, or that the bathroom, yeah, it's a bit run down, but that was our next job. Because what you're doing is then putting the seeds in the minds of the potential buyers that these are jobs that kind of need doing. So just always focus on the positives. And then the final tip is have the agent do the viewings for you. So the benefit of that is obviously it's their job. So they are generally skilled in what to say, showing people around, and trying to get the best price and get the property sold as fast as possible. But that comes with a caveat, in the sense that a lot of agents, the person doing the viewing might never have been in the property before, they might not have, well, more often than not, they've never met the seller, and usually they don't know anything about the property, and sometimes it's just a case of opening the door and letting the viewer have a look. So if you are getting the agent to do the viewings, then really you want to see that it's somebody that knows the property, have ideally met the seller and know quite a bit about the history of the property or any works that's been carried out and things like that. And somebody that really has a vested interest in trying to get you the best price. So all the properties that I take on, that I do the viewings for, it's me that does the actual viewings. Any questions that I don't know, I can find out usually while I'm at the property. So with this property that I've just done the viewing of now, we had a question about the loft. It was answered before I'd left the property, which is perfect, because then the people aren't waiting to find out something before they can make a decision on whether or not to make an offer, and that obviously can have a big impact, because I'm all trying to get the best possible price, get the property sold as fast as possible, and I've got a vested interest in getting the property sold for my sellers. So whichever agent you use, there's a couple of different points that you can go through to hopefully help achieve the best price for your property. I'm Mark Buchanan, and thank you very much.